Well, hi everyone. It's been a while since I've done one of these updates, so I figured I'd go ahead and do one. Buicks are still ensconced where they belong. Haven't done much of anything with them. Mostly trying to get the stuff that I'm working on done. Oh, Jeep, how much do I hate you? The problem with the Jeep is the Jeep dealership again. So they replaced the head on the Jeep, and when they did it, they screwed up the head, and so it doesn't seal, and so see all of the crap underneath there? Yeah, it leaks oil to the tune of about a quart every 2 miles, 3 miles, whatever. It's junk, but it's also got 200,000 miles on it, so next up is I think I'll just build a motor for it. I don't really care about it, but my wife likes it, and so, well, there you go. Alright. Bought myself a wire rack with a whole bunch of wire to go on it so I could continue on the Corvette, but that's not what we're talking about right now. Land Cruiser. So, why this nose isn't square is beyond me. But, been working on it, trying to figure out why it's just the sheet metal that's wrong. So, at some point I've got to move stuff around, maybe take it back apart and put it back together. I have been working on the welding system for it. The welder will go right about here. And here is what we have so far. I still need to wire the control box. The alternator is done. The rectifier is attached with wires. I'm going to put the rectifier actually right here on the fan shroud so that it gets plenty of air to keep it from overheating. So the wires will come up and run to the shroud, and then there'll be a cooling fin that's going to be attached to the back of it. Alright, so I've mostly done what I needed to do. I've got the Hydro Assist on there. I'm still not sure I like it, but it's pretty easy to just cap the valves and just leave it alone if I don't want to use it. On the back here, we have batteries. So I took 2 batteries out because I wasn't really using them. And boy, it sure would have been nice to have 2 batteries when I was on the Rubicon, because then I could have welded it. Yeah, 2020 hindsight being what it is. But I'm going to rewire this all back together. So I not only have 2 batteries, but also I'm going to use the batteries as kind of a surge protector. So I'm going to run the power back to the batteries and then forward to the rest of the vehicle, and so then that way if there's any really big surges from welding or whatever, it will kind of blunt any of those kind of surges that go back into the system. Oh, fun stuff. So I've got to build a cart for a Stokes litter. Most people know what a Stokes litter is, but a Stokes, that's the yellow thing on the floor there. Basically you put a wheel in the center, and so when you're hauling somebody out of the woods, it's a whole lot easier. Try carrying a person out of the woods and you'll understand it's heavy. Even the light people are heavy. Alright, Corvette. So I'm still working on it, and I think it's an ever increasing project, because what started as, oh, just put the fuel injection on, has now become a redo the water system on it as well, which creates all sorts of issues because you need to move everything a half inch forward so that you can put a crank-fired ignition on it. And quite frankly, it's just a bunch of wiring. And I've got to finish making the cooling system for it, and then that's going to solve a whole bunch of other problems, including having hooks on the front of the car for towing if I get stuck while I'm racing. I swear I should just put latches to put the seats in and out, but here we go. Seats come in and out. The system is in there. I still have to put the turtles on it. Turtles. Which are the tire temp, brake temp sensors. And since I'm completely apart, it will make it a lot easier to do that this time. and replace the catch can on the cooling system, and, well, yeah, it's going on. Oh, Paul. He hasn't touched this car since October, and it needs to get out of my way. I'm sorry, buddy, but yeah, you need to work on your car. Blazer. So the flares are kind of on it, and they're mostly on there just to keep them up and safe. It's awfully hard to stack stuff on them when they're sitting on the car rather than on the floor. The last major thing I did to it was go ahead and seam seal the floor. I've got a center hump cover coming, and then maybe this weekend I will set Dawn to getting the rest of this tar off of the interior, and we can start taping stuff up so that we can then put ceramic coating or ceramic sound deadener in it and start putting the sound deadener in it. The new radiator for the Corvette, this has to be moved because it's in the way of the suspension. Probably I'm going to put some kind of box here, or I may actually just put the outlet here on the bottom and then run it up and around. There actually is room there to do it. And who uses the petcock valves to drain it anyway? So there's that. I also have to put a bung on here so that I can put the cooling or the heating system on the car. And where I live, a heater is actually a nice feature. It makes the car a lot more comfortable. So motor is still pretty much the same. I just have a slight leak from one of the diesel cooling lines, but it's one of these things that I think it's going to self-heal, and I think I'll give it every opportunity to do that. And I still have to finish welding up speaker holes in the doors, and then I'm going to take the doors, the fenders, the tailgate, the fixed tailgate, to a powder coating place and have Bake-On powder coating put on it. So they go ahead and strip the doors, sandblast the doors, and then they powder coat, and then they put a powder coating on there. It's like the epoxy primer, only it's a lot tougher. And then of course when I do that, I'll then go ahead and spray sound deadener inside the doors, and it'll actually be a fairly nice place to live while driving around. So anyway, I think that's our update for today, and thanks so much for watching.